I sat down here multiple times the last 3 weeks trying to explain what I've been going through, the things that I've been feeling, the realizations I had, and I didn't have the words before, but I think I do now. And the best way that I would describe it is that I've been emotionally numb. I cannot pretend this is something recent. It started in my childhood, like most of our issues, right? But most of my life, I haven't been acting my age. I was always acting older, more mature, and everybody saw that. Everybody noticed my organization systems, my independency, my mindset, my smart way of giving advice, and how I could handle a lot. But what they didn't see is that I developed those tools as a survival mechanism. But since my mental health has been an issue my entire life, I didn't notice. And I actually took pride on that for years. I was proud of being the person who always knew what to say, the friend who had the best advice, or the one who knew how to handle money and responsibilities and organize everything. But when you spend such a long time just ignoring the fact that you're young, the pressure that you get on top of you is horrendous, it's terrible and suffocating, or at least that's my experience with it. For example, as I said, I'm 21, right? But I had for such a long time, maybe since I was 18, 19, this feeling of I've lost decades, I've lost opportunities, I should be doing more, I could be doing this, and that. Why this person who's my age on social media is this successful and I'm not? What am I doing wrong? I've always been my biggest critic. All that, though, was a straight consequence of all the time that I spent trying to remain alive and not throw my life through the window, which was most of my early teen years and teenage years overall. At that time, I was so focused on doing what was expected from me and remaining alive, of course, that I didn't do a lot of things. So I have a lot of grief. I grieve a lot of things that I could have done, a lot of experiences I lost. And once I was getting better, that caused me to put over me a level of pressure I've never seen before, and I didn't realize it, since I did all my healing alone, and that taught me a lot, but also ruined me in some areas. Anyhow, I was trying to acquire these 50 wellness habits and dissect myself and my brain and my feelings every day. I was trying to be successful, make money, and become my higher self, my greater version. And I still want that. But the way that I'm approaching it now is pretty different because the way that I did it before led me to be in a constant state of stress. I've always been stressed though. I've been stressed since I was pretty young, but not even at my worst time, I entered the state that I did these last couple of months. I explained it in my previous video, but basically, I was doing a lot, but I felt like I wasn't doing enough. So that would stress me out so bad that I would get burnout and that wouldn't allow me to do anything. Or not anything, but do the bare minimum and barely leave my bed. So that would stress me out more because I wasn't doing much. And it was a never ending cycle. And that cycle was what sent me into being emotionally numb because now I wasn't feeling sadness, feeling anger, or worrying if I was happy or not. I was just functioning, acting, surviving, like a survival mode. I feel like we can enter a survival mode through many situations for many reasons in our lives, and it wasn't the first time that that happened to me, but it was the first time I fixed it, surprisingly. I'm as shocked as you are. But it wasn't through something deep and profound, like, I don't know, a book, a podcast, a conversation. The simple way that the universe used to bring me back to reality and finally show me that I'm 21 years old was through a C-drama, a Chinese drama, if you will. I recently watched again the first two C-dramas that I saw around 2024. And seeing in them these characters who are in school or college, being so young, enjoying life, learning, making mistakes, and at the same time being responsible, brought back to me something I cannot lie and say that it brought it back to me because I never had it to begin with. I never had the safety and time to see it. So maybe that's why Things sometimes were great for me temporarily, and then I would go back to the spiral, losing myself, losing my spark. But what it allowed me to acquire was time perspective. The realization that maybe I'm young too, and I have time to achieve my goals, my dreams, and become the person I want, and I don't need to do everything by tomorrow. I don't need to be successful by yesterday. Everyone has their time. Yes, there are people who are successful at a pretty young age or quickly, but there are exceptions. There are exceptions, yes. They are the exceptions. And obviously, I'm an impatient person, right? I would love to be a millionaire today, right now, but it doesn't work that way. Some people become successful after years of work, and what we see on social media or even real life, those are very curated lives. You're not going to see necessarily when someone's doing bad, when they failed, or they are going through a rough patch with their partner, or like ending friendships, or struggling financially. You're going to see the good side when they look good, when they are out, what they bought, how successful they are, or how wonderful their partner is or their friends. So you are wasting time by comparing yourself to them, and you should focus on what's blah blah blah, what's in your own plate. And I struggle with that too, as I said earlier, but I do believe that everything comes at the right time, and also that nothing is impossible, because if we can imagine it, it's because it's true. I mean, just because you can imagine a unicorn doesn't mean that it actually exists, right? But you can write a book about it, and you create a sort of reality where this exists, this creature exists. And the same applies to life. You can build your reality and shape it anytime you want, especially when you're this young, because you have neuroplasticity on your side. So you can become whoever you want at any time. And you need to work on your subconscious too. It requires a lot of work, but it's not impossible. But about this topic too, there was something I wrote down the other day on my journal, because I went back to journaling, and it was, they showed me that I'm young, the characters of the C-dramas. I'm just 21 years old, and even though there are responsibilities I have to deal with no matter what due to my age, and that requires a level of maturity, I don't need to act like I'm 40 and I wasted my time, my life, and decades. And that's true, because in your early 20s, there are already a lot of things that require a certain level of maturity, right? Like work environments, relationships, friendships, family, financial stability overall. But that doesn't mean you cannot balance all the responsibilities, with your age, with enjoying life. You can sleep later some days. You can go out with friends once in a while, or just watch a show without feeling guilt. Because if you don't have the space to do things you enjoy and be yourself, you will lose yourself. And that happened to me too. It came to a point where as I said, I wasn't doing anything I liked. I stopped eating properly, I wasn't sleeping at proper hours. And I was demonizing all that, because once in a while, I don't think it's wrong. But if you do it every day, it becomes unhealthy. And I wasn't taking care of myself because I didn't care about myself. I think it's important to clarify that saying all this and being more flexible with myself and enjoying my life a lot more than before doesn't mean that I stopped having the same dreams or goals, or that I don't want to be successful. I don't know. It just means that I realize I can do that while enjoying my youth without sacrificing my youth. It's hard to balance it, take it from me. I struggle every day with balancing. But when you really want something bad enough, you manage. And I've been feeling very happy, not gonna lie. Because yes, I have clarity, but I also know it's okay now to not have clarity. That's what growing is for, to figure things out. And honestly, I don't think I have anything else to add right now. I've been laying down on my bed, thinking, because now I record in my bed. It's more comfortable this way, and you get to see my background. I have a lot of books. Sorry for taking so long to post, but as I said at the beginning of the video, I've been struggling these last couple of weeks. Not anymore. Anyway, I'm rambling. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a great weekend. Don't forget to subscribe, to leave a like, to leave a comment telling me your thoughts, your feelings. And don't forget to follow me on social media too. I have Instagram and TikTok. I'm pretty active on Instagram usually. I'm not using TikTok at the moment, but I'm going back to it. But I don't know how. I don't know what I should post anymore. I'm gonna just yap and like look pretty. I don't know. But we'll see each other next week with a new video, with a new brain dissection. I'm gonna start posting on Fridays now because feminine energy, and because I'm trying to build consistency too. Since now I'm journaling and I'm thinking more often about my life and myself, I'll have more to talk about. So, love y'all and bye bye. See you soon.